everybody. Welcome to another episode of Revolution Talk. My name is Zeta Ceti, and we are here live at MJ Unpacked 2023 here in New York. I'm here with Dani Baranowski, co-founder of Chamber of Cannabis. How are you doing?
I'm so dang good. How are you,
awesome,
sir?
Awesome, doing great. So tell us about Chamber of Cannabis. What's going on over there?
Yeah, absolutely. So Chamber of Cannabis is Nevada's largest business trade organization. We were founded 32 months ago, and we focus on three pillars: justice, commerce, and the community.
Great.
We've been able to impact the industry significantly as we proposed the cannabis consumption lounge legislation. So took that across the finish line, so people all over the world will come to Nevada, they'll come to Las Vegas, they will come to our consumption lounges, and then they'll spread that reputation, they'll spread that knowledge all across the world. And now being at Unpacked with all of these talented people in New York, you might ask, why are you here? Well, we want to share best practices from what we've learned with the oncoming lounges and the evolution of our industry. And then we also want to know if there's anything we should know and bring any partners our way to Nevada.
Absolutely, which is very important because education is key in this industry. You guys did a great job in Las Vegas or Nevada in general, just forging the path for that. That's really fantastic. Congratulations on all that.
Yeah, we've had some weird challenges. I mean, as this is a new concept, regulators are learning just as we are learning. And so there's a lot of education about the industry as a whole in general. But I mean, we're going to city council hall hearings where they're like, well, what if a cop has to, save someone and then they get high and fail a drug test because they touched someone? And we're like, listen, let us show you how this is a viable economic opportunity, the evolution of our industry and the evolution of tourism. Our economy is tourism dependent, but the tourist is evolving in and of itself. They want more experiences. They want to try cannabis. We were selling cannabis, not giving people anywhere to consume it. Been calling that irresponsible capitalism.
Yeah, and that's been since the beginning, whenever since medical. I mean, there's no place to consume, and there's a high tourism city, and also like a safe place to consume, right?
Exactly.
I mean, safe products, safe place to consume, where they're not being judged, they're not being worried about enforcement, because we're all pre-programmed by the drug war.
Certainly.
Right? So having those places and you guys doing that is absolutely incredible. You guys did a great job on that. Very thankful for that. And so now you're here in New York just trying to spread the message.
Of course. I mean, and let me just tell you, the lounges haven't opened yet. So there's still so much room for innovation, ideas, opportunities. So we're going to go to a few lounges. We're trying to meet with other folks that are also innovating. But the lounge concept, people think, okay, it's going to be a cigar, a hookah, kind of dark, dingy space. And like, sure, it could be, but it could also be a yoga studio, a bowling alley, arts and crafts. And in Las Vegas, we already do everything big and bad and Vegas style. So I'm excited to see what people come up with.
Yeah, it's really interesting that, in my field too as well, where we have just, people wanting to open up a dispensary. They may have a yoga studio here, or maybe a coffee shop or something along those lines. So it could be pretty awesome and dynamic in terms of what that spaces look like.
Amen.
Yeah.
If you could open a consumption lounge, what kind would you open?
I'll definitely have an entertainment venue.
Okay. Yeah. That'd be fun.
Having shows and stuff, but having a separate space where people can consume, right? I think that would be cool. But actually, that brings up an important point. Like, how does alcohol mix with cannabis?
Great question. So at this moment, there is no alcohol allowed with cannabis. Is that something people do? Sure, but I think it's really important to move slowly. It was so challenging for us to get the opportunity to have lounges. We have to prove to our regulators and to everyone that we are going to consume responsibly. Instead of saying recreational, I use adult use because cannabis is something that adults should use responsibly, and we have to prove that still. So we have to overcome, and we've done a great job, right? There's been reductions in opioid addiction, drunk driving accidents, crime in places where cannabis is legal and people have safe access. And so this is just a continuation of that upward trajectory towards changing people's minds. All it takes, is like one really crazy story about someone having their first beer, their first dab, and something they're running into the Eiffel Tower on the Strip and knocking it over. I don't know. We can't be having that.
Okay, so that's also brought up a thought too. I'm going to swing the pickaxe a little bit further. What about the casinos? Are the casinos getting involved in this or no?
They haven't figured out how to make their money yet. So right now there is a zoning regulation in place, 1,500 feet from any gaming establishment. So that's actually quite prohibitive for some of these new license holders. And that's why when you go to the Strip, you think, oh, there's going to be, a dispensary all over. No, there's actually a halo. They call it the green halo.
Okay.
And that is because that's where all the gaming establishments are in one line, and then all the dispensaries, and then the soon-to-be lounges will be coming online as well.
Right. Well, I remember in 2015 when they first established it, you definitely had to have a setback away from that. But what I did notice, even walking down the Strip, I saw some dispensaries on the Strip.
I'm so glad you're talking about that. So those are fake dispensaries.
Oh, really?
They're Delta 8 dispensaries. They sell mushrooms. They sell all this
Really?
Yes, and it's really confusing to the consumer because it looks like cannabis flower. It smells like it. They're even telling you it is, that you'll get high. So you get people, and it's hard. It does a little bit of damage to the people trying to do it right. And so they're saying, people are like, oh, I came to Vegas, I smoked this weed, I didn't get high at all. It's like, well, unfortunately, if you bought it on Fremont Street, there is no dispensary on Fremont Street, and there won't be.
I know, I saw one on the end down there, and I was like, these guys gotta be killing it right now.
Right? Shooting fish in a barrel, because people are already walking around smoking weed all over the place anyway.
Right, that's wild, that's wild. So back to Chamber of Cannabis, you guys have chapters all over the U.S., or tell me how it works.
Yeah, so we are focused in Nevada, but our membership touches all over the country. We don't have any chapters, but we do have allied organizations. So everyone from big organizations like NCIA to local folks like Decriminalize Nature. So it's important for us as a trade organization of all volunteers to learn from each other and share resources, share knowledge. It's easy to get in touch with us though. We're super active on our Instagram. It's Chamber of Cannabis, one word. We also have a weekly newsletter where we keep people updated on what's happening, what opportunities are available, what our partners are up to, and that you can find on our website, thechamberofcannabis.org.
And a primary function is to really just spread education, spread knowledge, get it to the people that are making the rules, and really give them a template going forward, so that way they will not make the same mistakes as some other states. Correct?
It's that, and providing justice, building more commerce, and building a community as well.
Right.
So.
Right. Any thoughts about international stuff?
I mean, international in what way?
You guys are the Chamber of Cannabis.
We do actually have some members living internationally. So we have some members in Colombia and Thailand. So as these markets are emerging, they're looking to places like us, people like us who have experience that have built these emerging markets. And so it's flattering, and it's also exciting to help these folks miss any of the missteps that we took.
So how can folks, whether general folks or even higher level regulators even, how can they help the Chamber of Cannabis spread the word, or what does that look like?
So it's it's reading our newsletters, it's speaking to us, it's having this open dialogue. That's what's really important for us with the regulators, especially, is they've never regulated the cannabis industry in this regard, and so it's our job and something we willingly take is educating them, but helping them create sensible cannabis policy.
Right.
So the passion can only get you so far. When it's combined with passion, acumen, and organization, then you're a powerful coalition, and that's exactly why we formed. There was a lot of voices in the industry that wanted a voice, wanted a channel, needed it, couldn't necessarily find it, and so my advice, how can they help us? They can listen and they can learn from us, and we'll do exactly the same.
Awesome. Dani, thank you so much for being on the show.
My pleasure.
Dani, Chamber of Cannabis, this is Revolution Talk. Thank you guys so much.